Hello, welcome to my channel. Thanks for clicking this video. In today's tutorial, I'd like to show you how I created this amazing fast food flyer in Photoshop. So all you have to do is to follow me step by step as we journey on. And if this happens to be your first time seeing my video like this, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel so YouTube can recommend this video to other graphic designers. Let's get started. So in the first place, let's go ahead and create a new document for this. So the rate, let's click on file and click on new. The rate for this particular flyer is 1080, while the height lies at 1080 and the resolution lies at 300 pixels. Then we click on create. And now let's click here, click on layers, and then click on this lock icon to unlock the layer. And now let's choose our paint bucket tool. And now let's type in, or let's choose a black color for this. So you actually have to click here so that the colors will change, and then we choose a black color for here for this one. Alright, then we click on OK. Then now you have to paint on this like this. You have to paint like this. And then the next thing we have to do is to go ahead and place our next resource. So we click on file and click on place link. This is actually more easier than you think it will be. So I have the resources here. I'll be placing the link to download the resources in the description, so you can go ahead and download the resources so we can continue with this tutorial. So let's wait while it's loading. Alright, so with this, you have to actually open the size of this. So let's click and then increase the size of this way. And now let's bring this here. Alright, so we're having something like this. This image looks perfect, but then let's actually add a bit of camera raw filters to it. So let's go ahead and click on filter and click on camera raw filter to this, so we can brighten up the image a bit. Alright, so with this, let's go ahead all the way to texture and add a bit of texture to it. Let's increase the texture. Let's increase the textures like this, and then reduce the whites and reduce the blacks as well. And now we will have to add up contrast like this, and then the highlight to be add up highlight like this. Then we can click OK. So we've brightened up the image like this. Alright, so with this, if at all you think it's actually looking more brighter, you can also do the same thing and then reduce the brighten up or reduce the highlight. And now we have to click here and then add a layer mask to it. So we click here to add the layer mask, and now we have to click here, click and hold, and the pop-up menu will pop like this, and choose a gradient tool. And let's click on the gradient tool here, and let's click on the basics here and choose this one. And now on the left side, let's click and choose a black color for this. Alright, so we choose a black color, then we click on OK. Guys, with this one, we have to stand here and then make sure you press on shift and then drag it like this. So Control Z, it couldn't change. Let's go back and change it to basic. This one. And now let's choose a black color again. I don't know why it refused to change. Alright, then we click OK like this. Now it has changed. So we have to click and then make sure we press on the shift and then drag it like this. And then drag it like this. Control Z. Should it be showing much like this? Alright, so something like this looks perfect. And now let's stand here and do the same for this one too. Make sure you press on shift to get a perfect image like this. Alright, so it is already looking good. And now you have to click on the group icon and create a new group. And now let's go to file and click on and choose place to place a link for this. Now let's add this image, the food icon here. Alright, so let's actually drag this like this and then reduce the size for this. And now we have to drag it and place it in the middle somewhere half middle like this, and I will click OK. So let's actually go ahead and place another resource. So we click on file and click on place link, and now let's choose this resource and click on place link, and now let's place this here. So let's click and reduce the size for this, and we can place it somewhere here. And now let's go to blending options. We have the blending options over here, and choose a nice blend for it. Alright, let me check the blending I choose for this one. Let me actually check the blending option. So I choose a hard light. So let's go ahead and choose a hard light. Or we can let's use pin light for this one, and let's reduce the opacity for this. So the opacity should be around 15 pixels, and then this one, let's actually bring it here. We just want it to show a bit small, not much. And now let's go ahead and place our next resource, which happens to be the food. So we put this one in the group here, and now let's go to file and click on place link. And now let's place this link, and as we did for the first one, let's reduce the size for this. Let's reduce the size. This should be a bit small. Alright, so something like this. Then we place it here, all the way here like this. Then we click here, and now the next thing we will have to do, we will have to create a group, or click on the group icon again, and that one we can name it any name you want, but it's actually group 2, so let's keep it in mind. Now let's choose our rectangle shape tool and choose a rounded rectangle tool and draw a nice rectangle like this. Let's draw a nice rectangle beneath this, and with this rectangle we can actually choose a black color for it. It's already on black color. And on this part, let's click here to have a curvy shape around it. And now we can click here. Let's press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Shift Z to go back, Ctrl Shift Z. And now with this, let's press here and then press Ctrl A to align this in the middle, Ctrl D to select. And let's go to the opacity and reduce the opacity for this. Let's make sure it's being selected. So the opacity around 47, then Ctrl A and align this in the middle, Ctrl D to select. So now let's push this back. It should be showing a bit, so let's increase the opacity. Alright, so this one looks perfect. This one looks perfect. Right, so let's increase. Let's check something here. Alright, so we will have to bring this one all the way down like this. So make sure you can actually press on shift and then push this one down like this. And now let's open the size for this. So don't show and click OK. And now let's open the size like this and press on this icon here. And now it is showing like this. It is actually looking nice. Ctrl A, then we align it in the middle. We just want this thing to show a bit. That's why we are suffering. So let's bring it up here, and I think with this it is actually showing. So the next thing we have to do is to choose our type text tool, and then type in the name that we used, and choose a white color for the meantime. Let's actually choose a white color for the meantime. Alright, then let me check this one. I think the name of the font is actually Coffee Spark. So normal coffee, then you add the spark, Coffee Spark regular, then we click on enter. You can get this font at bfont.com or dafont.com. And now let's actually increase the size of this. So let me check. The name is Benny Spice. So the name is Benny Spice. Control A, and we type in Benny, then enter. You press on enter to move on to the next line, and then we add up the spice to it, and Control A, and then the size, let's actually choose a size of 28.86 pixels, and we click on enter. Alright, so this looks perfect. So let's press Control A and then align this in the middle and choose center alignment for this. Control D to deselect. And now, as you can see, we have to move this particular food image. We have to move it here. That's why I group it in a group so that we can actually select it when the need comes. And now with the Benny Spice, let's actually click and then push the Benny Spice up a bit. It shouldn't be disturbing the image of the food. So the Benny Spice should be up here. And now with this one, let's actually increase the size of this. Increase the size of this like this, and press here, and do the same for this one too. So let's increase the size for this one too. So around this will be okay. And now we have to click here, and then go to effects and choose a gradient overlay. So we click on gradient overlay. Click on gradient overlay and choose a golden gradient. So let me actually load in my golden gradient. So import gradient. I actually created them here, so I have my golden gradients here, and I have to click on load. Alright, so it has successfully loaded. So I will have to click here, and then choose a nice gradient of my choice. So I think I should choose this gradient, the first one, the one beneath the first line, and then we can click on OK. Alright, so this is looking okay. It's looking good. And now we will have to choose. Let me see the next thing we have to do. Alright, so let's actually choose this image, and then we have to choose our ellipse tool here. So we click on where we choose the rectangle shape, and then choose the ellipse tool and draw a nice ellipse. In order to get a nice ellipse, we have to press on shift while drawing it, and now we draw it like this. And with this, we can choose a gradient color for this. So let's click here. Here is the gradient, and now we will have to come back down here and then click and choose the first one as we did for the other one. We have it here. Alright, so with this, then we can choose either radial for this. Let's choose radial, or we can actually load in this gradient. And now we will have to bring this one beneath the image of the food like this. And now let's let it show small like this, a bit small. Alright, so with this, we will have to go ahead and then go to place. So let's click on file, and let's click on place link and place one of our resources. So I have to place this resource and click on place. And with this, as you can see, we just need one, so you don't have to stress yourself and erase the rest. So you just have to click here and select. You choose the marquee tool here. I choose it here, so we click and choose the marquee tool, and make sure you press on Control and use the arrow keys, the up one, and click on it like this, and it will select this. And now we will have to right click and choose layer via copy. Alright, then we close the whole of this. Let's close the whole of this. And now with this one being selected, let's go to filter and go to camera raw filter. Right, so with this, let's move all the way down here to let's move on to the color mixture. And you know, this is actually a green color. This is how the color mixture is. So we have to send the greens here to have a nice green like this. And now we can also go back to the basics and add textures to it so that it can actually show like this. And with the clarity, let's click to add a bit of clarity to show the green more. As you can see, it's looking good now. Then we click OK. Alright, so this one looks very much perfect. So let's go to filter and choose blur and choose Gaussian blur, motion blur for this. So we click to rasterize it, rasterize the layer. So the motion blur should be around, sorry, I'm supposed to select this one. Alright, then we go to filter and go to blur and choose a motion blur for this. And now the radius around 14 will be okay. And we have to choose our move tool, click on the move tool and then reduce the size for this. And now we can actually drag this one and place it here. Then you press Ctrl J to duplicate the layer and then bring this one here like this. Or you can place it anywhere you think it will look good for you. And with the image, let's actually click and bring this one down like this, a bit down like this. And now you have to go ahead all the way. Let's check the next thing we have to do. Alright, so this gradient is looking much deep, so let's choose a nice smooth gradient for this. Or the gradient is all about adding, blacks and this color to it, and that's all, nothing much. And now this one is okay. I think I like this gradient, the same thing I used. Alright, so I have to go to file and go to place link, and let's place this resource here. Now with this resource being placed, let's go ahead all the way to filter and choose camera raw filter for this. And this image too, let's add the greens and brighten up a bit. It should look nicer than this. And let's add a bit of texture. Let's add up to the clarity as well. And we can move all the way to the color mixture. And with the greens, we add up greens as we did earlier on. If at all you think the green is looking deep, you can actually reduce it. So this green looks perfect. And now we have to reduce the size for this. I have to reduce the size for this and place this here. So with this, we just have to press Ctrl J to duplicate, and now let's send the other one here all the way up here. Ctrl Z. Now let's send this one all the way up here like this. Alright, so we can add up motion blur to this. So let's click and add blur and choose a motion blur for this. And with the radius around 14, we click OK and do the same for this and choose motion blur with the radius around 14, then we click OK. Alright, so we have to create our new shape. So we draw a nice rectangle, rounded rectangle shape like this. Draw a nice rounded rectangle shape like this. And with the edges, let's actually click here to add up the edges as we did for the first one. And with this, you can click here and choose a gradient color for this. So let's choose a gradient, and now we can click OK. You can set the angle to either 45 or 30, any degrees will be okay. Alright, so this, let's type in our menu. So with the menu we'll be using a different font for the menu. So this one should be a bit deep. So let's go to this part again and choose a gradient, different gradient for this. We actually want a deep gradient. and not a light one. Alright, so this one looks okay. And now let me check something here. So let's actually bring this here, and now let's choose our type 2, and let's click our layer, new layer, and then type on it like this, and type on or type in menu. So caps lock on, then we type in menu, Control A. Then we choose a different font for this. We are going to choose MTN Brighter Sans font. I use this font a lot because it actually looks good, and the size is supposed to be around 7 pixels. So 7 pixels, then we click enter, and this is supposed to be on. You can actually choose extra bold. And the color should be on black. It should be on black color, so that we can get the uniformity of this particular design. So let's actually bring this here. Alright, so we should bring this in the middle of this. So let me actually check the size for this. So the size for this test is actually a medium. This one is actually a medium. Alright, so let's click Control A and type in our menu. It's supposed to be our menu. And now let's choose a medium for this. So Control A to highlight everything, then we click on medium here, then we click on this, enter. So let's actually select our move tool, and then bring this in the middle like this. And now let's copy this text so that we can move fast forward. It is actually the same text, and now we have to place this here. As you can see, this one is absolutely up. So let's select and then drag it down a bit like this. Alright, so it is actually looking good, and now you have to send this one here. So with this one, you just type in the text, and then you go to the gradient, the FSC, and choose a gradient for it. That is why after typing in the text, if you are wondering how you can choose the gradient for this, and then you click OK, as we did for the first one. And now you will have to, let's go back. This is a project I'm working on. So we have to click here on the menu, and then choose our rounded rectangle or our ellipse tool, and draw a nice ellipse. So let's make sure we press on shift and draw a nice ellipse like this. And with this ellipse, let's choose a gradient which happens to be a golden gradient color for this. So we choose a golden gradient color for this, and press OK. Then now let's actually use our move tool and type or press Ctrl J to duplicate the layer. Now let's drag this down, and then Ctrl J to duplicate it again, and let's drag this down, then Ctrl J in that order. Alright, so this actually looks good. You have to check your alignment and everything in Photoshop. As you can see, this is actually looking good. And the Benny Spice, you can actually increase the size depending on how you want it to be. So let's actually shift this one down like this. And now you have to copy the text of this whole text. You have to copy this here. So it is actually, I actually group them in one particular group. So we click and select everything and place it here, so we can actually move faster. Alright, so let's make sure it's on top of everything. Then we press Ctrl A and choose center alignment for it, and now Ctrl D to deselect, and let's shift this one back like this. If at all you've loved this tutorial, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel so YouTube can recommend this video to other graphic designers.